If you've been watching the channel for a bit of time, you know before rotation happened, I was a massive fan of Elemental Mage. I made a few too many videos on it, and after rotation, the deck was sadly kind of unplayable, and that is mostly because we were missing out on powerful cards like Tainted Remnant and Overflow Surger, with them rotating into Wild. But with the release of the most recent set, the Lost City of Nguro, we were able to actually have a bit of elemental support, and Elemental Mage seems to be a real deck now. So what new cards made this deck actually good? And the main one that I want to point out is Conjured Bookkeeper. This card is an absolute all-star. It is the sole reason that this deck is playable. Conjured Bookkeeper is a 3-mana 2/2 elemental with a death rattle of draw a spell, and Kindred, summon a copy of this. So Kindred is the new keyword of the set that simply means if you played an elemental last turn, you get this benefit. So this deck is chock full of elementals, so this will always be active pretty much. The other minion that we got was a late game payoff card in the form of a Windswept Pageturner. It is a 4-mana 4/5 with after you summon an elemental, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. So at the late game, you can have a 4-mana Pageturner, a couple mana left over, and just start spewing out 1-mana elementals, dealing 3 damage along the way. So on top of this deck being incredibly fun and playing not like any other deck right now in the meta, it is also incredibly cheap. It runs a grand total of 2 epics in the form of Conjured Bookkeeper. Sorry, this guy's not replaceable. There is no replacement for the Bookkeeper, and only 2 rares with Blazing Accretion, again a staple in the deck. You cannot replace these 2 guys. But the rest of the deck is commons or core cards. So if you are looking for a dirt cheap deck to race up the ladder, this is my go-to option. So if you're interested in taking this deck out for a spin, I am going to leave the deck code down in the description. And if you enjoy Hearthstone content like this, please consider subscribing. It would help out this channel a ton. So anyway, let's get into some games.
Jaina versus Anduin.
Okay, I have a priest opponent.
I will protect the alliance.
You asked for it.
Almost assuredly going to be Protoss. There's an argument to keep Flame Geyser because of Sentry. This can deal with it pretty cleanly. Yeah. I'm going to keep it. And the Bookkeeper. Huge fan of this card. Let's start things off with Cinder. Call it a turn. So if they play Catch of the Day, this is a really awkward minion to trade into. Living Flame is one of the better cards, if not the best card I could draw in that situation. And they are going to coin out what I assume is the Fishing Rod. And then this is going to get their Catch of the Day. No, just a caretaker. Okay, so we're dealing with aggro, or Wilted Priest. And can we talk about Sizzling Cinder just absolutely murking that caretaker? And we will play our top decked Bookkeeper and swing 3 damage on in. So this combo deck does have a bit of longevity, just with how much healing it has with Critter Caretaker. And Catch of the Day will clean up one of my Bookkeepers. Solar Flare is near perfect, if not exactly what I needed. And we will Solar Flare them, and I'm going to burden them to do trading with that. Yeah, I'm just going to hit them in their head. And this represents just so much burn. And they're They're going to heal their head with their hero power, and I'm wondering if those bandages are also going to heal them. They did not. Let's go ahead and crash in with this. Throw a Flame Geyser. And should I just play this, or should I take this opportunity to Fireball? So Fireball sets up lethal, but they do have bandages in hand. Let's just go ahead with the 4/5. I think they're going to heal pretty massively this turn. Yeah. And they did. So for my turn, I definitely need to clear. Let's go ahead and I think just play both my elementals while I have this guy out. And we will... Let's actually go face. Okay. Yeah, let's... I think that's the play. Let's see what this zaps. It'll zap that. And let's see if these arcane missiles can deal with that 2-1. Perfect. And this will just go face. Sleepy Resident. Not a bad one. Now... Pageturner yet again. Let's see if I can find lethal off of these guys. Combustion. Double combustion. So I think it's just a pretty simple fireball, combustion, and flame geyser. Absolutely insane amount of burn in this deck. And Conjured Bookkeeper is exactly what Elemental Mage needed. It just drew me like exactly what I needed. And beautiful Elemental Rampage quest complete. A hunter opponent. Probably a fellow aggressive gamer. So I am going to throw these back, I think. Maybe keep Solar Flare. If they're like a go wide deck, Solar Flare could be pretty useful. Let's keep Solar Flare. I think they can go wide with things that would get cleared by this. Turn 1, Arcane Artificer is the name of the game. Scarab Keychain. And then Firefly. I'm going to go with a little bit more of a sturdy minion than Firefly. They're going to go with a Catch of the Day, which will be perfectly set up with their keychain, but they are instead going to go with a Wound Prey. So I will go with a Flame Geyser, and then play the Flame Elemental that came with that. So our Solar Flare is looking pretty discounted in my current hand. They're going to go with a Cower in Fear. Not bad. So again, I think it's a pretty clear Flame Geyser into double 1/2. Triple 1/2? No, I don't see much reason. Also allows for future page turners to be pretty good. Mother Duck, here to ruin my day. And then a Lamplighter. I'm gonna go after that guy. Keep their board nice and clear. I don't like how they're still at 30. Doesn't sit well with me. But their resources are kind of looking a little not great. Okay, they did roll poison, but not on any of them that can attack. Okay, so this seems like a pretty clear solar flare. So let's go ahead and clean up that board. And I think this coin is probably just going to equal a ping on their 1/1. And I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty commanding position with what their hand looks like. Gonna go with a Cower in Fear. And a Workhorse. Okay, that's pretty phenomenal for them. But luckily for me, those ponies are 2/1s. So let's go ahead and pop that open and see if my arcane missiles can clean up this situation for me. Almost. This will almost certainly clean that up. And yet again, feeling like in a pretty commanding position. Fetch will find them a beast and a spell. Okay, well, they are very much still in this game. Everyone look away, Huffer's about to trade. Ooh, hate to see it. But you do love to see Blazing Accretion into just phenomenal cards. Keep that board clear, shove some damage. And then next turn I have another draw 3. And they have a Leok and a Mother Duck. I mean, this beast deck is surprisingly resilient. We found a Fireball. And I think that will clean up the opponent pretty nicely. Double Fireball to the face. Just like old school Hearthstone. Mage double Fireball to the face to clean up the face hunter opponent.
Jaina versus
Shaman opponent.
My elements are
I didn't know it was legal to play
You asked for it.
Shaman in Standard. I don't know if my opponent got the memo. I don't think Tar Slime. I honestly have no idea what my opponent could be up to. I feel like probably a slower deck. I don't think there's many aggressive Shamans out there. I don't think there's many Shamans out there, to be honest, but I think they're going to be a slower deck, so I'm going to try to rush them down with my beautiful 1-mana 2/1s. So let's just get it started with a 2/1. This one, and not this one. And they are a minion deck, so I am feeling a little foolish for throwing away my Solar Flare. But I'll see that again. Okay. Grofin will clear. And that is pretty annoying. And so is my hand. Am I just going to ping this thing? Yeah. I'll play this next turn. My only concern with... The only reason I didn't play this is if I draw another non-elemental next turn, Lamplighter will not be active on turn... turn 4. Ping to their face. I'm an aggressive deck and I've hero powered 2 turns in a row. It's not looking good for me. And if they... Okay. That is a trade. Ooh. Pretty good. I am just going to take this opportunity to deploy the Pageturner and hope they can't do much about it. Okay, a Gift Wrapped Whelp and an Adaptive Amalgam. Okay. Those are definitely minions to get off of a Flight of the Firehawk and a Slither Spear. Crazy early completion on that quest. So let's clear there. And I could triple minion, or I could double minion clear this and hope both shots go there. So let's just hope. Why not just hope? Ooh, swing and a miss. Alright, let's hope that they can't... Oh, wait, no, that quest reward now has Rush. So this guy is toast, is what I'm hearing. Going to adapt twice on their big dinosaur for a +1/+1 buff, and poisonous. Not bad. A spontaneous combustion. So I have 12, 16, 20. Do I ignore what they're doing 100%? Yeah. I'm just going to ignore what they do and just start flinging some damage right at their noggin. And yeah, that's the game plan. Hopefully arcane missiles can find one shot upstairs. They're going to go with a bit of a trade situation. And Patches the Pilot will shuffle in some pirates. And they're going to draw 2 minions, make them real big. Okay, okay. And a Mermy as well. So I'm going to go down to 21 this turn. Let's see if one of these shots could go to their head. I mean, that's just well played, opponent. Well thought. The better player won. No luck needed. Just gonna collect my win and carry on to the next game.
Jaina versus Uther.
Probably a aggressive paladin.
You asked for it.
So what they're trying to do is flood the board and buff it with various things. So we need to find ways to stop them from doing that. And that involves, of course, fighting for the board. So let's throw away our late game and value guy for more stuff like this. Or they could be on quest. In that case, that's a lot of burn. In that case, let's pretty much do the same thing. Fight for board. And they are a quest enjoyer. So I am going to... I believe just Flame Geyser. And also Spellwing and just start crashing in. Hopefully they deploy a lot of tiny guys on this turn so I can clean it up with a Solar Flare. Okay. In that case, let's just draw some cards. And yet again, just smash their face. So the objective is really just to get them low enough that my burn gets me over the finish line. Okay. That's going to be a big Murloc. And they're going to coin out Tidehunter. Pretty strong. But unfortunately for them, I do have a pretty messed up card in this matchup. Let's go ahead and... yeah, simply clear that board. Now the question is, do I bump in with my 1-3 into their 3-1, or do I just go face? Let's be responsible. Bump in. So they probably have the Rusher this turn, or do not. Just going to be discovering some Murlocs. So for this turn, probably just going to Flame Geyser their 2-2. Yeah, so let's... so I can have them down to 19. So I'm obviously playing that this turn. So this can get them down to 20... 16, 17, 18, wait no, 16, 14, 13? It's not bad.
What to do? What to do?
Yeah, let's clear that. And the question is now, do I just ping this off? And I think the answer is yes. Be mana efficient, and then next turn I can have 10, 12 damage. And if they don't deal with my board, or put up taunts, I do just have lethal. Yeah. That was gonna happen. But they're not in stellar shape, especially with that draw. So let's just go ahead and throw caution to the wind a little bit. And while their board is pretty small, I am going to just Arcane Missile. And I don't think there's any way for them to gain life by rushing in. So let's just get down to 4. So, yeah, that's how we want this matchup to go. Just get them down to a low enough life total, clear their board with a few Solar Flares while they're still in the early stages of their quest, and then just clean them up with the usual burn spells. Okay. So Brain Gill, gonna get a little bit of value. And I'm going to play the top decked Fireball for a little bit of psychic damage to my opponent. Yeah. Just clean plays. Always play the card that you top deck, especially if it's lethal. Yeah. Ooh. I think I've won like 4 games in a row with this deck pretty cleanly. Elemental Mage might be back on the map.
Jaina versus Celeste.
Fellow Mage.
Possibilities are endless.
Likely doing something very similar
You
to
asked
me.
for it.
So, in that case, Solar Flare is very good against a horde of 1/2s and 2/1s. So I feel like I should keep it. Historically, like, back in the good old days of Elemental Mage, this was the decision maker and who won the game. So I'm going to see if that's still range true. Got my early drops. Got my board clears. And some card advantage. What else could I want? I mean, yeah. Could also want that. So I'm going to see if they opt to just bash that 2/1 into my 1/2. I imagine they will. And they do not. I could deploy one of these to prevent one of these damages from going to my head. That might be relevant. Let's try it. And also deploy a 2/1. Next turn I might just Conjured Bookkeeper. And they are just gonna keep on with the go face strategy. You gotta respect it. But I'm going to see if my theory is correct that Solar Flare is the decision maker. Clear their board. They do draw 2 cards. But right now they cannot Solar Flare me back. So I have a pretty commanding lead on the board right now. At least I did. I feel like I once did. Let's draw our other spell. Another Fireball, and missiles will deal with this guy. And let's go with a Living Flame. And outside of them having 5 1-drops, they cannot Solar Flare, so let's get out our other 1/2 instead of this 0/3. Because that can actually deal damage. So right now we have 12 of 14 in hand. And okay. Pretty expensive Solar Flare. So let's deploy our Bookkeeper and a... Let's actually Flame Geyser. Keep my 2/2s nice and healthy. Deploy another 1/2. So we are approaching the burn their face part of the game. Spontaneous Combustion. And Spontaneous Combustion. Alright. So now we can Tar Slime. Is it Tar Slime Solar Flare? Alternatively, I could Fireball Combustion for 10. Doesn't seem worth it. Let's get them down to 20. And next turn I can... Those both win face. Kind of unlucky. Double Combustion next turn while I still have the Elemental Chain going. And they're going to Lamplighter and Spontaneous Combustion. Okay. So I can instead Arcane Artificer into Combustion, Fireball their face to gain some health. And I think that is probably going to decide the game. So let's just go ahead and throw some damage right at their noggin. And outside of them having their own Artificer Fireball, I think I just walked away with the game. Blob of Tar. Some annoying taunts if I planned on attacking with minions again. But I'm just gonna, you know, win in true mage fashion by ignoring their board and throwing spells at their head. Pretty close matchup. Really, I think what that came down to is I found Conjured Bookkeeper. I just outvalued them pretty hard with that guy. And I also found... I think they found 2 Living Flames. I found 1, but again, Bookkeeper, insane value.